What's going on, everybody? How you doing? And welcome to another episode of Lord PeteyTV. And you know what we're gonna do about our Mythic Pluses this week, and what are we gonna happen, and what are we gonna do? So the Mythic Plus FXs for week 16, I think, are very interesting. They have to be discussed, and I do not think they are any better than this past week. First of all, make sure you hit that subscribe button here so when all of our new videos come out. Publish a bunch of them every single week. I think that it'd be better for you to take a look at those. So I will see you all soon there. We also are on twitch.tv every single Monday through Friday, so please check us out there. So our week 16 affixes are going to be tyrannical, incorporeal, and spiteful. So let's see here. Tyrannical, obviously, bosses are going to have more health. They're going to deal more damage. Incorporeal is going to be the ghosts that spawn up, and then if you allow the cast to go off, they end up producing a damage and healing debuff. Now that debuff stacks, so you got to be careful with that. So you'd be able to CC them as quick and fast as possible. And then after that, we have our spiteful. Spiteful means that every single time a non-boss enemy dies, they're going to end up spawning a ghost. They're going to go after specific people, and they're going to do a bunch of damage. So you got to be really, really careful. I think that this combination of keys is going to make this week way more interesting than normal. So be aware of that and think about that whenever you're kind of going through it. So now the next thing I'm going to tell you is that we're going to do a little quick run through, like we always do, of all of the dungeons and what how they're going to affect you and what you're going to deal with. So, all right. We're going to do them in a little bit of a different order than normal, just because it's fun that way. All right, so Throne of Tides, we're going to end up having, like I said, you're going to end up dealing with, the Spitefuls are going to be hard to deal with because they're going to be in two different locations throughout the whole entire fight. So I think that that's going to be really, really annoying for a lot of people. You're not going to have really much room to kite them around. Obviously, the fights are going to, I should say, each pull should be vastly quicker because you are in tyrannical and not fortified, but the bosses are going to be harder. So in Throne of the Tides, that means the Shaman Earthkeeper, his totem is going to be hitting harder. The first boss, he's going to be, the lightning forks are going to be hitting harder. All the mobs that are spawned with them are going to be hitting harder. So be very, very careful of that. The knight's frontal. So those you really, really need to be aware of, and you really got to keep an eye out for while you're ending up doing that. The last boss, that he's just annoying with the dot on the ground, so be careful with that. So make sure you dodge and move very quickly there. So so that's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but it's okay. Everbloom, they have lots of packs that you're going to be able to burn down super, super quick. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. The problem is going to lie with the Spitefuls once again, because you're going to have to, root them, move, and kite with them. Now, the good thing is that you do have a little bit more movement when it comes to certain portions of Everbloom. So just be aware of that when you're going through and dealing with that there. So, don't worry about that so much. Blackrook Hold, let me take a step back. Everbloom, that second boss is going to be a real pain in the butt to deal with. I would recommend listening on that one. The third one's really annoying to deal with too. So you got to be really, really careful of that foot placement, DPS, so on and so forth. That's a really, really commutative boss there. And then the last thing is going to be, the last boss, that stomp is going to be taking people down to, 50 to 75% of their health. So be really, really aware of that, because that's going to be doing a lot of damage. So try to make sure you use defensives and work together to kind of use those appropriately while you're going through. Now we go back to Blackrook Hold. Blackrook Hold, the last boss is going to be hard because of the tyrannical. The second to last boss is just going to be annoying because it's just going to take a long time to kill him because he's going to have so much health. What else? My contact lenses are hurting my eyes. So that's going to be those are going to be issues there. The Spitefuls are going to be difficult to deal with because the Spitefuls, you don't have much room to run. So that's going to be annoying. So overall, that's not going to be too bad for you to kind of deal with. The healers this week are really going to have to worry more about people taking damage because of Spitefuls and people taking damage on bosses. The tanks are going to have to worry mostly about just the bosses, really. So it's pretty good. My son's just screaming in the background, which is funny. Dark Heart Thicket. Uh, that place I always have hated. Um, you have enough room to kind of move around with the spitefuls, and you have enough CC for them, and you'll be able to burn those down pretty quickly. So I wouldn't be too worried about that portion. On the other side, Fortified is going to be playing into really, really heavy effects there, because you're going to end up having effects with the first boss. His dot's going to really, really be hurting. The second boss, which is Oakwood, he's going to be really, really hard to deal with because of that throw, and he's going to be doing so much damage to people, so be careful of that there. And then you're going to have the third boss is a pretty much a pushover, as long as you have correct foot placement. Be careful of the rocks when they fall. Spread your people out, so not as much damage is going to be taking. So that would be that. And then the last boss isn't too bad. Just make sure your foot placement is right. Make sure your healers healing properly. Make sure they're taken care of, so on and so forth. Lost 50%, you'll burn right through it. Atoltazar, Yasma's as always going to be an issue there. No matter what week that's going to be, those spiders, if you're not working on those spiders correctly and you don't have a great enough DPS, you're going to have a lot of problems with that. That is the biggest problem for us in our push group, is definitely the spiders in Yasma. So once we kind of work through that, hopefully things get to be a little bit better. As for the spitefuls, it's not going to be too bad. Razan's not too bad to deal with. The priestess isn't too bad to deal with. The what's it called? The other guy, the one that spits all the stuff on the ground, he's probably the harder of them. And then Yasma, because those pools, if you stand in them too long and they tick too long, it's just going to do too much damage to you. So be really, really aware of that and kind of get through it there. Waycrest Manor, you don't have much movement. Use the courtyard as much as you possibly can. The first boss is going to be really, really kind of hard. I would lust on that. The dot really ticks hard on that second boss. The second sister, I should say. So be careful there. The tree boss that's in there. The tree boss really, really does a lot of damage. So be really, really aware of that. I think that boss is really the hardest in that place. Between that and the ticking roots, you got to make sure you burst those down super quickly. So be aware of that. The chef boss, or the pig boss is what people call it. Got to be really careful of that one. The AoE frontal, he does a lot of damage on that, so be really, really aware when you're going through. Try to be aware of the situation around you, and kind of you'll get through it pretty quickly. But just make sure you DPS the ads fast enough that not enough of them get to the boss. But you got to DPS those ads fast enough so that you can go the other way with it. So be very, very careful of that there. Morazan's Rise, that is the second half of it. The biggest issue for that is going to be Battlefield. You're gonna have enough room to move around when it comes to the spitefuls. You really don't have to worry about that. There's so much room. I don't even think about it. So the fact of the matter is that the bosses are gonna have so much health. They're gonna take a lot longer to kill. Battlefield is just annoying for that boss. So just be aware of that. Try to work properly. Be close to the boss to move a little easier. You'll be fine. If you get blade stormed, either use a defensive or an immunity, or just run away to the side and wait for that to finish up. So you're going to end up then having that. The last boss is just going to be annoying, so just be aware of the situation around you, and when you're running for that second half, don't corner somebody in. But that is really annoying when you end up getting that close. Galakron's Fall is the first half of Dawn of Infinites. Time Waste is going to be hard. Also is going to be Blood of Galakron. Those two are probably the harder bosses to deal with, and once you kind of get used to those and kind of flow through them, you'll get it, and it works pretty well. As always, it's a very interesting time when Tyrannical comes in, because it really flip-flops a lot of these dungeons. And I think that it's a nice change, but I think it's also some people they hate these affixes. I hate tyrannical because the bosses take forever, and you know some of them just are like one-shottable. Fortified, I have no problems with. I will take that every single freaking week if we had the opportunity. I mean, it all comes down to your DPS, and I'm DPS, so I'll burn it. I'll do whatever I can do. So thanks again, everybody, for listening to me ramble about our dungeons. As always, good luck on your vaults. Use sub2R, use Lord PeteyTV at sub2R, and also, you know, Rogue Energy drinks if you're looking to support the channel. We also have our merch store, and the links are below. I greatly appreciate it and love you all for sitting in and listening to us about going through our affixes. Good luck. I will see you in the chat. All right, dream big, keep gaming. I'll see you all soon. Bye, everybody.